Okay, ladies and gentlemen and ladies and gents, we got a couple of things going on here. In my background, as I said in the last video, I'm going to say in this video, don't worry about what I'm doing in the background. Focus on what I'm doing in the foreground. Ladies and gentlemen, I called someone yesterday and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" Person said, "I'm doing all right." I said, "Well, you know what? I went through my Rolodex on my cell phone and I just rolled and picked a name at random. I'm gonna do that from time to time." And I said, "What I'm doing is I am going to allow you to ask me any question and I'll provide you an answer." That random calling was out of the blue. The person did not expect it. So the person said, "Hey," because I told him, I said, "I can't hear you very well." He said, "Well, let me call you back." I said, "You know what? You can do that." And so he called me back. And I told him, "Okay, what's your question?" Now, normally people say, "I want to know how to get rid of all debt. I don't want there to be no debt ever," which is kind of dumb. Well, the word dumb is not the exact word. Sorry, I'm away from the computer for just a second. Like I said, don't worry about what I'm doing in the background. Ain't none of your business. But anyway, the reason why wanting to get rid of all debt is not the optimum word is because the United States is based on a debt-based system. Remember, their dollar bill is for the payment of all debts. So you can't get rid of debts. You can't pay a debt with a debt. You can't get rid of a debt. Not in the current system. The government is in bankruptcy. So it's a debt-based system. I know it makes a lot of sense now, doesn't it? Okay, that's normally the question. However, that's right, you heard me say, however, this individual said, "You know what I want to know?" And they said, "Look, I have the SAT PAC. So I even signed up with American Legion." He says, "I want to know how to bring it all together." Now, ladies and gentlemen, y'all don't understand. I created an organization, the very first organization, the Legal Redress Commission. Well, it wasn't my first organization. The very first organization, let me see, what was the name of the first? Well, Voldeer. Voldeer Strictly by Design. That was the very first organization. And in that organization, I had a motto, logo. The slogan for the organization was bringing it all together. And that's why you'll see it's the very same pattern with all the companies. You see how all the companies fit together, that we bring all of these services together under one umbrella. And so he says, "I want to know what to do with it." So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to explain to you what I explained to him because this is what so many people have been asking for, but you don't understand securities laws. And I got a better understanding when I looked at the Bankruptcy Act. You see, the Bankruptcy Act says that, whew, man, I cannot begin to tell you how appreciative I am of the Bankruptcy Act. Bankruptcy Act says that our securities are government obligations. Well, I want you to hold on to this because it's necessary. Sorry, I gotta load this thing up. It's necessary that our securities are government obligations. Pay attention. Our securities at SATCOM are supported and backed by credits that come as a result of participating in the matrix, in the economy, in the government. Those credits that come as a result of that type of participation, ladies and gentlemen, that puts us under that security law, not under the securities law. And all of the people who are receiving their credits are receiving them under the Section 401, Part 18, Paragraph 6 of the Federal Reserve Act. Now, I said Part 18. Technically, it's not a part. It's a subsection of a subsection. But don't worry about it. You understand what I'm saying? So I told him basically it's like this. Your SAT PAC is a trust. You need to create a declaration of trust. The SAT PAC has a declaration of trust embedded in the SAT PAC. But I said, what you can do is you can go online and you can pull up, pay attention. Want y'all, pay attention. Go online and pull up a sample. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to do this now, but it's gonna make me. It's gonna make me do it. I don't want to do it. And it even said thank you. I don't want to do it, but I got to. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, because you can go online and get a sample declaration of trust and a sample certificate of trust. These two things are very important. And it just needs to concisely say what your trust agreement says. Now, most of you, again, don't understand this, so I'm going to explain it as best I can. Nobody is ever to see your trust. Wait, hold on. You know how some people have been following it in court cases? Nobody is ever to see your trust. Your trust is a private agreement, a private thing. Okay? So the only thing they need to see is the declaration of trust and the certificate of trust. Simple? Sorry, I can't type and text at the same time. Type and text is not the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So now that you have your declaration of trust certificate of trust, you take that 98 series number and you go into a bank and you say, hey, I need to know how to set up a non-interest bearing account for my trust. Well, do you have a declaration of trust, certificate of trust? Yes, I have all of that, but I just need the instructions. I know that you have the instructions written down, so could you please provide that to me? And you give them your declaration of trust, ladies and gentlemen, your certificate of trust, and you set up a non-interest bearing account. And you do what you have been told from the very beginning. You operate through that. Just that simple. I mean, literally, just that simple. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as you're operating through that trust, doing everything through that trust, you're almost there. I'm almost there. You're almost there. You got a couple of few more things you need to do. Okay, what's the other stuff I need to do? Well, now that you have the ability of setting up this bank account, now that you have the ability of putting together your organization, and now that you know that you're to operate through that trust from now on, everything goes through the trust. That's what you're doing. Everything goes through the trust. So now that you're operating through the trust, now that you're doing everything through the trust, the next thing you need to do with your SAT PAC is you need to understand that your SAT PAC has value. Okay, there is a value associated with your SAT PAC. You're receiving credits, and you're receiving credits in the form of, well, I can't tell you the exact names because once I do, everybody else will try to mimic what SATCOM is doing, and we're not trying to do that. We're not trying to get people to play copycat. Okay, like I said, we're creating securities, not securities under the Securities Exchange Act, as I mentioned, but securities under the Security Act of 1933 that's directly associated with the Bankruptcy Act, that's directly associated with the Federal Reserve Act, and the particular paragraph in a particular section that you've been hearing me mention about. Now that you have these securities, you simply take the securities and you forgive the debts. Ladies and gentlemen, all of your debts, everybody's telling you to send in your bills and send in that coupon. Well, go ahead and send all that junk in. But put an itemized list together of all the names of the companies and literally write that junk off. All of your debts. Do a 1099 A and C and write off all of the debts. Remember, you don't owe anything. There is no money. It's a debt-based system. And you have not been participating the way the system was designed. Now, I have a ride that's coming. I'm on my way to the doctor. And so I have a ride that's coming. And so when the ride comes, I'm going to end the video because I'm going to have to take a trip and the Wi-Fi ain't going to let me continue. I could probably continue the video, but the noise in the background will be too much because it'll be what do you call it? Um, ground noise, highway noise, road noise, and so we're going to stop the video. But I'll go ahead and do the best I can in trying to wind this up. But the information is important, so I'm trying to give it to you. Now you do your 1099-A, your 1099-C. Now remember, once, because remember, you're forgiving them of the debt. They were supposed to give it to the Federal Reserve. Go back and listen to the last couple of videos that you see me do. None of you guys have owed anybody a debt when it comes to these companies. When you gave them any type of promissory note, when they billed you, and you signed that contract, that's called an endorsement in blank because you did not do the pay to the order of. Now, those of you who did do a check, your check was only for a certain amount. That's an endorsement. Paid to the order of is an endorsement. And you forgive them of the debt. And once you know that they ain't going to pay you back because they owe you, then after you forgive them of the debt, you literally write it off. The same thing they do with you. But when you write off the debt, and I need you to keep this in mind because a lot of people don't pay attention, it becomes a credit to your account. You are, if you have the documentation showing that you paid the debt, pay attention. If you have the documentation showing that you paid the debt, you can now do a 1099 OID. You just have to read the 1099 OID instructions. Don't go off of those YouTube videos. Stop listening to those idiots on YouTube trying to tell you how to fill out a 1099. Go and read it for yourself. The instructions are there for all of you to read. Stop listening to somebody telling you how to fill out a 1099 when they're not going over the instructions with you and showing you. You see my videos. If I'm showing you something, I'm showing you something. I'm not just talking about it. Oh, you're not showing us nothing right now. You're just talking. Because I done already showed it to you, ignorant mother. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be, it's the heat. And it's getting to these mother. It's 105 degrees every day now. 105! Right now, it's 72 degrees. Ain't bad in the morning if it was 72 degrees all day. But it ain't going to be 72 degrees. We going above the retrograde. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. I did say I was going to play my music in the background. We're going to play a little bit of jazz, okay, in my background. And I'm not going to get distracted by the instrumental, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, once you've forgiven that debt, it becomes a credit. You become the original issuer because the instrument that was created to pay them, remember all those hour style money orders you wrote? You are the original issuer of that. Pay attention, people. Under the Bankruptcy Act of 1933, which is the Emergency Banking Relief Act of 1933, March 9, 1933, specifically and particularly the amendment to Section 401 of the Federal Reserve Act. That's what you're operating under from now on. You go into court and say, I'm operating under this, so you need to tell me how I've not complied with this. Other than that, you need to shut up with your presumptions. Because that's all they're doing, ladies and gentlemen. All they're ever doing is making a presumption, and you have to rebut their presumption. Section 401 should squarely and surely rebut their presumption. Just go and read it and see how to operate under it. It's right there for you. The only thing that's been amended is the circulating notes. Everything else is right there waiting on you saying, hi! Okay. Now, after you've taken care of your credits, after you've taken care of your OID, now you can operate in society. Now you can stop trying to get rich. Now you can stop trying to get over. Now you can stop trying, how do I pay my bills? You pay your bills the same way you've been paying. Send them a promissory note for the amount that they're requesting. If it's a regular utility bill, ladies and gentlemen, take that stub. Stop getting your bills electronically. Make them send you your bills in the mail. Read the instructions that's on the bill. You guys have been told this since 2012. It's a check when you fill in the instrument the way it's being sent to you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my ride is here. So I'm going to have to let this individual know that I will be here. He just drove by, so he's early. And he'll be back. Um, he, this particular driver usually shows up 30 to 40 minutes early, and they don't normally tell me when they're coming. I have to call them to find out when the idiots are coming. Okay? So what I have to do is I have to wait for him to come back. I am glad that he is leaving because I can finish this video. Ladies and gentlemen, if you all pay attention to what's going on, the way the so-called law is written, it's government said that you returned in your gold. We're going to try to show it to you real quick, okay? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I feel sorry for the rest of the world, okay? And I really do, who don't know about this man right here who's talking to you. We'll open these things back up. Let's see, who else is here? Let's let's open this up to where it's all the way down here. All right, so what we're gonna do is I gotta see if I can find what I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't really want to go here. Let's see if I can go here. This is the shorter one, okay? Look, the gold that is given up by the people in the present crisis should be delivered to the government. Okay, so the people is giving up something. Well, what do the people get in return? Well, the gold should be used to issue additional money upon which the people will not have to pay any interest while it is in circulation. You've been paying interest. So OID that mother, okay? And you can use this paragraph if you want. They want to know the interest. Well, the interest is what I've been charged. Okay, you want to know the withholdings? You got to go talk to that company. But I'm the original issuer. Remember, I issued the gold to the government. You just have to know how you're explaining things and make them tell you, no, you're wrong. Remember, this is congressional intent. Under the new law, the banks receive the money. So as long as those idiots are using the money, Federal Reserve notes, Federal Reserve bank notes, doesn't matter. Any type of circulating notes. Okay, any type of clearinghouse certificate, any of that junk that they're using, I need y'all to pay attention. Any of that junk that they are using, pay attention. That means that you get to return to them bills of exchange, draft notes, bankers' acceptances, and trade acceptances. Trade acceptances or draft acceptances or trade drafts. Okay? The money will be worth 100 cents on the dollar, dollar for dollar, 100 cents on the dollar for dollar. The money is dollar for dollar with this junk here. Why? Because it is backed by the credit of the nation. The credit of the nation, the United States has told us that we could use that credit if we forgive people their debts. Remember, you cannot receive anything if you don't forgive your neighbor his debts. So forgive the debt. Write it off. It will present a mortgage on all the homes and other property of all the people. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, how you gonna take my gold and then mortgage my property and I don't receive nothing in return? That don't make no sense. Hold on one second. I think I was coming out here to look because I need to make sure, but the driver is here. And because the driver is here, I got to get ready to go. So that means I have to turn y'all off. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could show you page 80 where they're having a discussion. So when you get a chance, go back to the act and then go all the way down. With me, I have to go to page 80 is going to be page 40. We're going to go 44. Okay, you see, that's how simple that is. Let's see. We're going to go to the conversation of Stiegel and McFadden, and in here they're going to be talking about the gold and Federal Reserve banknotes and the value, and it says the security backed of the obligation, notes, drafts. This is the security backed of the government obligation. Notes, drafts, bills of exchange, bankers' acceptances, as outlined in Section 401. It's all right here. It tells you exactly what this is for. That's why you want to be operating under this. Hey, I got to go, but thank y'all for taking the time. I hope this gives you an explanation of what you all should be doing with your SAT PACs. Got to go, people.